on the way. I still think that could happen. We've got some time to watch it very carefully, but we're already starting to see some impacts in Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about all of it here. So let's get right to it. We'll show you the latest on Idalia and what we are watching with it. The latest advisory here. This is the 7 o'clock Central Time advisory. You can see just from the presentation of it, it looks a lot different than yesterday, doesn't it? We've got a hurricane on our hands, and winds are now at 80 miles per hour. It is a Cat 1. It is moving to the north at 14, and that movement is very key. We're going to be watching that today. Another key thing we'll be watching is the pressure, 977. Sometimes you see that drop first, and then the wind speeds actually pick up to catch up to that. So we're going to keep a close watch on the pressure. The hurricane hunters are going in. They're giving us that information about the pressure. They're giving us the information about what the peak wind speed is, and more information about what the storm itself, the structure of it is. You can see that eye wall right here, and you can see again on at least the eastern side where we're getting a lot of that rainfall. Doesn't mean that there's nothing on the western side here, but in terms of, where this storm is going to be heavily loaded with the impacts, it's the eastern side, and that's what's going to be brushing us here right along the west coast here starting today. These bands are not too far away from the Tampa and St. Pete area, even Fort Myers, even the Keys. We're likely there, the dry Tortugas and out towards Key West, to get lashed by some of those outer bands. So let's track the storm, and this cone is a track forecast. Where would the center of circulation go, knowing that the impacts will be well outside of the cone? You saw how big Idalia is. So we're going to be watching for this track up to the north and making more of a turn to the north and east. The time frame for a landfall is sometime tomorrow. Well, we're watching. Speed is everything, right? And we'll be watching at some point tomorrow. Is it early morning? Is it midday here? That's going to be the details that we need to continue to fine tune. Now, in terms of the impacts, though, today, look at those showers here moving in all throughout Florida, all throughout the peninsula, the Florida peninsula. We've got even Orlando getting into some of those showers. That'll be rotating in, and then things really start to go downhill as we get into the later hours today, overnight. This is 4 a.m. tomorrow. This is a model forecast, but just to give you a sense of what we're looking at here in terms of some of the biggest impacts. And it's not just about the rain, and it's not just about what's happening in the core. It's also about what's happening in these outer bands as well. Let's go right now until right now, but that is going to change. So I'm standing in the virtual view of Tampa in Curtis Hickson Waterfront Park, right there on the Hillsborough River, which leads down to the Hillsborough Bay. So with Idalia, we could see up to 7 feet of storm surge in this area, and that would put me in this whole park underwater. And so I want to talk about the storm surge risks that we have here along the coast, the west coast of Florida. The storm surge watch is up. North of that, the storm surge warning, which does include Sarasota, Tampa, and the whole Tampa Bay area, Newport Richey and Hudson Beach up towards Cedar Key under that storm surge warning. Now, the most significant storm surge will be near and just to the right of where we have the landfall. And that is an area where we're likely to get 8 to 12 feet plus of storm surge. Absolutely devastating and life-threatening. South of that, 6 to 9 feet. Still life-threatening. 4 to 7 feet just south of that. And again, that would put significant areas underwater, could get up into the first floor of many structures, especially those that are most prone to flooding on waterways. So we want to talk about what drives this. It's a combination of the wind strength, and stronger storms increase the force pushing on the water, but also the fact that a big storm will increase that as well. 15-mile-per-hour difference in wind can raise the surge by several feet, which is why we're very concerned about this rapid intensification and the fact that the storm could get a lot stronger today. In fact, is forecast to do so compared to where it is right now. So let's look at the wind and the wind direction. That's everything here. It's all about the wind pushing the water towards the coast and pushing it inland, and not allowing some of those inland waterways to drain either once we get some of that heavy rain that comes in. So it's multifaceted when it comes to storm surge. You see these strong winds, you see that direction of wind. Again, the Tampa Bay area and north of there, you get this onshore flow starting overnight tonight, continuing through the day on Wednesday, even after landfall. The winds have not changed direction. They've slackened off a little bit, but they haven't changed direction. And we're just certainly concerned about this. In a place like Cedar Key in particular, 6 feet of storm surge is your record set back with Hurricane Hermine in 2016. And we have the potential to break that with this. Let's go back to Paul Goodlow. He is live in Clearwater Beach, a place where, Paul, you've already been seeing the surf start to come up here.